Hey, do you think matching tattoos are gay?
What kind? Matching?
Yeah, matching tattoos.
No.
I was hoping you were going to say yeah.
I like matching tattoos. I worked at the San Angelo convention one year, and these 4 like frat boys came up to me, and they were like drunk as hell, and they were like, "Hey, dude, we asked like 5 guys already, man, and nobody will do this, man. You think you'll do it, man?" And I'm like, "What do y'all want?" And they're like, "All right, dude, you know, like when people get a panther like clawing on your skin, like it's walking on you." And I'm like, "Yep." He goes, "Well, we want weenie dogs. But we want them like looking back with Ray-Ban sunglasses on, and we want them shooting the bird." And I was like,
Done.
"Fuck yeah, I'll do that, dude."
Done.
And they were like, "Well, how much, man?" Because these other guys were quoting like $1,000 and shit. And I'm like, "Why?" Because they wanted them on their asses. And I was like, "Why?" Because y'all want them on your asses? And they were like, "Yep." And I was like, "I'm gonna cut y'all a deal, $400 a pop." And they were like, "Hell yeah, Dad!" They all got tattooed. I was like, "Oh my god."
That's right.
Yeah.
$400 a pop.
But you made a grand total.
And they were like,
Is it off or what?
"Mine?"
Is it on now? Oh, I never turned mine back on. I'm an idiot.
Oh, was I supposed to turn it off?
Oh, you're good. I turned mine off when I
keep
said
it on.
No, he was yelling at you, but really he was being yelled at the whole time.
He thought it was the new guy.
Yeah.
No, it was the other one.
It was the
foul one.
vet.
It was a foul one. Hey, I got a real question for you, dude. Are you going to vote for Donald Trump again this year?
I've never voted in my entire life.
I haven't either.
I've never voted. I'm proud of that. I don't play that fucking game.
You know, they say
You buy
if you
lottery
don't
tickets?
if you don't
Nope.
participate in
I won't win.
their bullshit that they don't have power over you. So I've never voted either.
Who's they?
You know,
I've never
they-
voted. I almost voted for Ralph Nader way back in the day just because I was smoking a bunch of weed.
Dude, that is aging you.
Yeah. The Green Party, remember all that shit?
No.
Yeah. There was like, we had like, my old ska band played a Ralph Nader Green Party show at Mary Jane's on Washington. And he was there.
That's
Everyone was
wild.
smoking weed. It was crazy. And I was like, maybe I should vote for this guy. Like, he's here watching my band play and smoking weed in front of
He
everyone.
showed up to the show.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know shit about politics, but this is crazy.
Was this like a Black Sheep Chris Farley situation when he goes to the MTV Music Awards and his brothers running for governor?
Yes. Same situation.
Same situation.
Yes. I'm trying to think of the second time I almost voted.
It wasn't Trump 2020?
Oh, I wanted to get Mayor Turner out of Houston. He's horrible.
He's out now, right?
Yeah. Now they got Whitmire. Thank God they didn't get Sheila Jackson Lee.
I don't know any of these people.
They're all.
Do you think we can get that new guy on the pod?
Who? Whitmire?
Yeah, there you
Maybe
go.
he's a Mason.
Yes, dude. Let's go.
I know him like straight up.
Let's get
He
him
goes
on.
He goes to Scottish Rite with me.
No shit.
Uh-huh.
Dang. Yeah, what's up with all the Mason stuff? I know that's a real open question. You're into some real odd things. I've always kind of liked that about you. It's all.
I like weird stuff.
Yeah, you do.
Are we avoiding the question?
No.
No,
okay.
Are we doing the podcast right now?
We've been doing it.
Okay, sweet. No, it's cool. Yeah. I'm a Mason. I'm also in several other crazy groups. The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn and the Kemetic Orthodoxy and the Builders of the Adytum. And I think that's it. But yeah, I like the Western Mystery School, Secret Society, occult stuff.
Yeah, it's fun, right?
You know me, man. I was always like, like when we were all working with and everything, I was like, everybody likes to talk about this stuff, but y'all don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
They're like, well, you don't know what it is. And I was like, well, I'm going to find out. And I did. So I was like, the only way to find out what people are doing is to join in and figure it out, you know? I tell everybody all the time.
I kind of feel like that's a dangerous way to figure some shit out.
No, because you can just quit. You can just quit because none of them are cults, so you can just quit.
Are you really?
Mm-hmm.
You can be honest.
No, straight up.
It's nobody watches this. You can
How
be
many
honest.
have you quit?
Well, I haven't quit any, but I'm not active in many of them. I'm really only active in 2 of them. But you remember, right? I guess I don't even know if I
no.
should say this because it's personal business. But
that's right. We'll just throw up these.
I'll say I know several other people that have demitted from Masonry recently, and it's like whatever.
They call it demitted instead of quitting.
Yeah,
is that like the
because you have to like
term?
formally.
You gotta like
resign,
like put in a notice.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Huh. Yeah, I know nothing about those worlds except all the stuff I talk about that I know nothing about.
It's mainly because you have to pay dues every year for Masonry. So
it's
you
like,
have to formally demit so they won't be up your ass about like, hey man, you got our money this year?
Yeah.
And for some reason, man, all of them, the Scottish Rite.
So it's not a cult, but it is like a Bally's membership?
You have to pay every year, yeah. You can get this thing called an endowment in Masonry, I think in most states. All the states are different. So a lot of people.
It's kind of more like a union than a cult.
Yeah, it kind of is because the states are all different. And I might be incorrect, but from what I've heard, it's like Texas, I want to say New York, and I think there's one other state are the hardest states to become a Master Mason in, because those states have the most like memory work.
So Scottish Rite is the one with all the degrees, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
with the 33 degrees.
So Blue Lodge goes from the 1st degree to the 3rd degree, and then Scottish Rite goes from the 4th degree to the 33rd degree.
Okay.
But 33rd degree is like an honorary thing. You have to be in the Scottish Rite for at least 10 years. You have to be nominated to get it. It's not, everybody doesn't get the 30.
It's not really something you can work up to and like hit these milestones and then you become that.
You can, but the rule is you're not supposed to ask. The rule is if you ask for it, you'll never get it.
It sounds like you're describing jujitsu.
It's similar.
And at the end, you get to go on Rogan's podcast.
It's similar.
That's what it sounds like.
Most everybody that's in the Scottish Rites is a 32nd degree Mason, though.
How long does it take you to become 32nd?
Not very long. It's kind of surprising. It takes way longer to become a 3rd degree Master Mason in the Blue Lodge. It's kind of crazy. So, like in the Blue Lodge, you have 3 degrees that you go through.
So lost.
You were lost before we started.
So
Yeah.
Blue Lodge just means like it's regular. If you become a Mason, the first thing you have to do is go through the first 3 degrees. That's all. That's the majority of all the lodges you see everywhere. There's tons of them. Scottish Rite's not like that. Like there's one Scottish Rite temple in Galveston, and there's one Scottish Rite temple in Houston. So all the Masons from all the other lodges go to those 2 lodges, depending on what they call them, valleys that they live in. It's essentially counties. But when you go to your home lodge is your Blue Lodge, and that's where you go through the first 3 degrees. They call it the Blue Lodge. And it's entered apprentice, fellowcraft, Master Mason, but you have to memorize like a ton of stuff. Like when I started doing it, I haven't been a Mason for a super long time, maybe only 3 or 4 years. But I was really intimidated when I saw the stuff I had to memorize. I was like, this is crazy. But once I met all these old guys that were doing it, I was like, well, if these guys have done it, I've got to be able to do it, you know? And then once...
Do you still know it?
Yeah.
Or is it like college where you like learn it for the test and then you forget most of it?
you remember it because you actually use it.
Because you're kind of like inundated with it when you're there, right?
Well, it's kind of... I'm trying to think of how to say this without breaking an oath. It's kind of like... Because the only real thing that's secret in Masonry is the initiations. Nothing else is secret. So the memory work basically is the script, if you will, of the initiations.
Like the scripture, like the...
No, like the script. So
Okay.
like the theory is it's like, I heard this from one of my buddies that's a Mason, and I thought this was a pretty cool concept. He was like, the theory is, you know, like worst case scenario, there's a nuclear war. You're the last Mason on Earth. You'd be able to restart it because you have all 3 of the degrees memorized to Master Mason.
Damn, so it's like
So
Noah's Ark.
Yeah, so he was like, you could teach it.
Wow.
You could teach it to the other officers. They could learn their parts, and then y'all could start initiating Masons again.
Dang, that's so tight.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, but it's hardcore in Texas. Like a lot of states, they don't make you do memory work at all. But in Texas, the memory work is hardcore.
How do we start this not cult for tats?
Well, you know, and I think even in Texas, a lot of tattooers were all joining the Odd Fellows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was like hip for a minute. I remember
Yeah.
everybody was jumping to do that.
Yeah, I know in Dallas it's big.
Has that ever crossed your mind for tattoos?
Oddfellas?
No. Making a whole separate thing for tattoos. So it would get laid out exactly like you just said. Nuclear Holocaust, there's one guy that knows everything about tattoos left. But
Oh,
he's
I see
got
what
the
you mean.
design and can start it over. That would be sick.
I see what you mean. That's crazy.
We've never thought of that, right?
No.
But this is like, that's different though. Tattooing's more of like a skill or a trade. Mm-hmm. What he's talking about is more of like a moral
But
guideline.
didn't it start as like actual masonry?
Yeah, it started. It started as that supposedly.
I mean, I get we're not building houses over here, but
yeah, I mean, I don't really. I'm not good with the history of it, but in my opinion, because they try to say like, oh well, it came from Egypt and it came from Greece and it came from and it's like all the old mystery stuff they say that oh it came from Greece, it came from Egypt, and it's like, well, where did it come from before that?
It came from all of those things.
Yeah,
but
well, and it evolved
linear.
Like when you look at the Kabbalah, that's it's an evolution of all of that stuff. And that's big in a lot of the schools I'm in, with the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn and with Scottish Rite.
What's that one?
The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn was a secret society that started in 1888 in England by Masons. And they were also in several other Western mystery schools and secret societies in England.
Is this what?
Aleister Crowley was in it.
Yeah, Crowley.
Aleister Crowley was in it. He's, the bad boy, the famous guy. But it was started by a guy named McGregor Mathers and Westcott and several other people. There's a huge lineup of famous people in the original order. The famous Irish poet W.B. Yeats was in it. People say Bram Stoker was in it, but I don't think it's totally been proven that he was in it, but he was definitely friends with all of those people. There was a lot of artists and actors in it.
that seems to be true with like all secret society shit, right?
Yeah. It's kind of weird. With the crazier ones, like the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, it seems like it's definitely more artists.
The crazier
ones. Crazier to your average Joe. Like, there's some Masons that, if they saw this podcast and they were like, I know that guy, oh my God, he's in the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, they'd freak out, know? Yeah, because the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn is completely different. It's a legit Western mystery school that teaches ceremonial magic. It's basically like the Western version of Tantric Buddhism.
Dude, it's Nick's worst nightmare.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
What do you think about the Magic Cauldron?
It's your worst nightmare.
That place was a little different.
It's not Magic Cauldron.
No, he won't even go in there.
Magic Cauldron is...
I went in there.
It's all right.
Did you?
It's all right.
Yeah, I've been in there.
I think the people there are nice, but it is a different thing. It's Magic Cauldron. It's more like a Wiccan, pagan type thing.
All right, so is there a way somebody can join? And when I say somebody, I'm talking about me. Without having to memorize a bunch of shit.
Well... Yeah.
Which one?
That's my downfall.
You can
Which
join.
one?
Well, here's the thing.
Like, wait, there's homework? I'm out.
Well, and it depends on what you want to do. Like, I always tell people that get interested in Western mystery schools to just, like, Google all the ones that exist. The crazy thing is, I talked about this on another podcast I did with some of my friends, and the crazy thing is almost all of them exist in Houston and have, like, physical temples or lodges in Houston, which is crazy.
A big fucking place, man.
Yeah. It seems like, New York, L.A., but like Houston, it's not so much Austin. It's really Houston. Like the majority of them are in Houston.
So doesn't the library in Austin, like on the UT campus, don't they have the original like Book of the Law from Crowley?
I don't know. If they do, I want to go see it.
That's what I've heard. Like in the library at UT Austin,
There's some cool stuff going on in Austin.
They have like the original Book of the Law that was, I guess, transcribed or whatever through Crowley.
That's
Crowley,
cool.
Whatever.
I'm gonna have to check that out. They have cool stuff going on out there.
Huh?
He for real will. He's like, I gotta go find that book now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go check it out and it's real, like, let me know. Because like I've been telling people that they have it
true.
there, and I don't know.
It's all for 10 years now. I've been telling people.
I've been telling. I've been telling
don't you
people.
Google stuff? Aren't you Jamie?
Like I've been telling people, like everybody I come across, I'm like, hey man, did you
Look
know
that
the
up.
book
See
of
if
the
that's
law?
see if the book of, type in like Book of the Law Austin Library.
UT.
Austin has
While
cool
he's
stuff
doing
going
that,
on.
Do y'all let women in?
They have a
In the
different
Hermetic
thing.
Order of the Golden Dawn, yes.
What are the ones that don't?
Masonry doesn't.
That's
But
the one
don't they
I
have
need
like
to join.
isn't there like a Eastern Star? Or
Yeah,
something
they have
that's
a
for
they
women?
have they have a group for women called Eastern Star, and I don't know the rules in
Do they
every.
battle?
Huh?
Do they battle?
No, it's actually kind of cool. My Masonic instructor, him and his wife are in Eastern Star, and I've gone to some of their like public installations. Mm-hmm. That's a cool thing too. If you know anybody that's a Mason, you can ask them like, "Hey man, can I go check out one of y'all's public like cool events?" Because we do public installations all the time, and it's rad. It's like the coolest thing you can see without being in it.
No shit.
Yeah. But I went to their public installation.
That's how they get you to join the cult.
Yeah, they're
Dude,
like,
yeah.
join us.
They're like, come on, come on, look how cool this is, dude.
I'm this close.
And then you get there, and they're like, here, read these books.
Oh yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a school. They're schools, really. I mean, they really are schools. You have to do a ton of reading. But
who are the authors? Like Albert Pike?
Albert Pike is the head honcho of the entire Scottish Rite. He wrote Morals and Dogma, and that's like a book you get. Well, you don't get it nowadays, but it's a book that's like required reading if you want to go through the what's it called, the Master Craftsman program in the Scottish Rite. You have to read Morals and Dogma, his book called Esoterica, which is about the Blue Lodge degrees, and you have to read the Scottish Rite Monitor. I haven't done that yet. I'm a 32nd degree Scottish Rite Mason, but I haven't done the Master Craftsman program. I know a bunch of people who have though, and they all liked it. But yeah, those books are hardcore reads.
So, if you're a Mason, say, like, what is the benefit
That's where my head was at. I was about to ask that.
of like
Yeah, what's the actual
progressing
benefit?
through this? Like, if you're a 15th degree,
Well,
what is better about the 32nd degree? Like,
Okay,
like, do you have access to cooler stuff if you're a 32nd degree? Like, are there rooms in the
If it's like jujitsu, dude, do you
Like-
get to beat up all the people under you?
so,
What's
like
happening?
once you're 32nd degree, you just get to jump everybody in?
Yeah,
So-
what level do you not have to like punch the kids anymore?
so this is kind of confusing unless you've gone through it. But the rule is, so remember how I was talking about like Blue Lodge?
Mm-hmm.
Like Blue Lodge is the first 3 degrees, and they tell you when. So the 3rd degree is Master Mason, and that's the degree where you're really a Mason. That's the degree.
So before that, you're a prospect.
The first degree is entered apprentice. The 2nd degree is fellow craft. The 3rd degree is Master Mason, and you're a Mason in the first 2 degrees, but you're not. You don't have all the privileges that a Master Mason has, so you're not really a Mason until you're a Master Mason. But then they tell you that there is no higher degree than the 3rd degree. Even though you can go to the 32nd degree in the Scottish Rite, and you can go through a bunch of degrees in York Rite, they're like, that's where the term on the level comes from. They're like, if you're a Master Mason, we're all on the level at that point. Nobody's better than anybody. We're all brothers. Everyone treats everybody equal.
Unless you've been nominated for 33rd.
Well, see that
Then
that is a thing. That is a thing.
Yeah,
But
and
you're
you're
top
better.
bro.
yeah, that is
Yeah.
that is a thing that comes up. But people have to remember, like, hey, that's not what it's about. You know what I mean? Like, if that guy got it, you should be proud of him and congratulate him. You shouldn't be jealous. You know what I mean? But that is a thing. Like, and
How hard is this to
Like-
talk about right now, knowing that there's so much you can't say?
there's not really a lot with Masonry I can't talk about.
Okay, tight.
except for all the secret shit.
I will say, well, like I said, really the only thing that's secret in Masonry are the initiations.
Man, and I want to take three guesses at it too.
I'll say the degrees. The degrees.
When you say the initiation, are you talking about the ceremony itself, or like the script?
Well, this
is what I'm talking about that I can't talk about.
This is cool. A lot of people don't know this. Is that when you go through the 3 degrees, the first 3 degrees of the Blue Lodge, you're actually being physically initiated. So it's like
jumped in.
Pretty much.
That's when the 32nd degrees.
It's a physical initiation. But then, like, if you
do they take? You don't even have to answer this, but do they take a page from each one of the special forces books of the branches of the military? You just doing one thing, like one of it's sleep deprivation. Another one's like, oh, you're going to be cold as fuck. It's okay. You don't have to answer. He can't say it. He's not allowed to say it. But it's a yes, dude.
Dude,
it's a yes.
How do you know so much?
You've seen a leak.
Oh, I think it's more the military got some of their secrets from other things. Is more what it is.
Oh, I will tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing. Don't let me forget to stay on track of what I was saying, but I'll tell you one thing right now.
I don't have any idea what you were saying before.
We have been straight up infiltrated. So I've been doing this for 13 years in Western mystery schools. I have met and experienced 3, to my knowledge, 3, potentially 5 cases of infiltration from the government.
That's so tight.
It's nuts.
But of course they would.
Wait.
Hold
on. I feel like why do they need to infiltrate the Western mystery?
Well,
the reason they would infiltrate anyone.
They've infiltrated the government already.
I'll be
right, exactly right.
I'll be honest with you. The reason is because this is totally stupid too. I mean, it kind of makes sense, but
it's a group of organized white guys.
Well, what happens is, look, I've seen this happen.
We know what happens in the world when white guys are organized.
I've seen this happen with some of these Western mystery schools. Is you'll see someone come in, you'll start to figure out like, okay, this person works for the government, and a lot of the times the best thing to do is just leave them alone, because a lot of the times what they're actually doing is they're sending people into groups and organizations, in my opinion, to make sure they're not running guns and drugs.
Yeah.
You know? And then once they're like, oh, okay, these guys are just a bunch of crazy spiritual hippies, like they believe.
Yeah.
Usually. But there are more nefarious cases where they don't care and they'll try to like destroy an organization just for fun.
Try to set you up with stuff.
Yeah.
Also,
it's happened, man. There's a documentary on...
what if it's somebody that literally just happens to be employed by the government?
Well, that's no big deal. It depends on what their job is. Like, you know what I mean?
Like somebody comes in, they're like,
they're just a legit.
Like I work at the post office, man.
I work for the post office. Get out!
Yeah. It's like, we don't trust you, man. You're fucking with the mail.
Yeah, you got to talk about government.
You're
jobs,
fucking
dude.
with my mail, man.
You read my mail?
Wait,
I knew you read my mail.
How many cops alone are Masons, dude? Think about it. There's tons of government jobs that are Masons.
So we'll get back to where we were at. But I've always heard
they have a whole side. So the different what they're called bodies, like so the York Rite, the Scottish Rite, all that, they're called appending bodies of Masonry, because you have to be a Master Mason to join any of those. Like you have to be a Master Mason to join Scottish Rite or York Rite or the Shrines.
So do you have to pay dues to all of those?
Yeah,
each one.
Yep.
So they invented the micro subscriptions.
Well, and I forgot
Dude,
to. I don't.
Might have.
I
fucking
think
shout out Patreon. Y'all can hit us up for less than a Starbucks cup of coffee. You can get the second half of this episode.
I think I was talking about it earlier, but I changed the subject or something. But you can do what's called an endowment. Where?
Oh yeah, I was going to bring that up.
Where
if you have 9 inches or longer, you're automatically in that club.
You're paid for life.
Endowed.
You've got a big wang.
I'm still paying.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm paying double.
Yeah, dude, we're not in that club. Well, yeah, what's this endowment?
Well, for example, it depends on where you're at, but
is it like a low poverty thing?
Well, no, it's it depends on. So the lodge dues depend on what lodge you go to, or what Scottish Rite Valley you go to, or what York Rite chapter you're going to, etc. But for example, I live in Houston, but I go to Galveston Harmony number 6 in Galveston because it meets in the Scottish Rite Temple there, and that building is insane.
Dude, I may have seen some pictures on the internet, and it looks fucking beautiful.
Look, I'm telling
it
y'all.
looks amazing, beautiful.
I'm telling y'all, if y'all ever know that I'm there, or if you're ever there and you want to just holler at me,
need to go.
I can probably hook up a tour for y'all, and you'll be blown away, dude. Like it's an incredible
the
building.
pictures look amazing.
It's an incredible building.
I know
The whole
pictures
reason
don't do art justice.
No,
so.
it's nuts walking through that building. Like it is awesome. And that's the whole reason that I joined down there is I had a bunch of friends in Houston that were going to a nice lodge pretty close to where my Golden Dawn group meets. And they were like, "Hey man, you're gonna join here," and I was like, "Yep, it's in the Heights." And I was like, "Yeah, this is gonna be my lodge." But then a group of my friends from Galveston were like, "Hey dude, have you seen this building yet?" And I was like, "No." And they were like,
"We got way sicker walls."
They were like, "Yeah," they were like, "Come down here and look at this building."
Dude,
and I was
come
like,
down here and check out our fucking wallpaper, man.
Oh, it's not. It's
not wallpaper, dude.
It's sculptures and embossed things coming out of the walls. It's
we'll look at pictures.
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah.
So it's like a super sick
It looks
haunted
fucking
house
insane,
type
dude.
thing.
Yeah.
It looks like the inside of the pyramid or some
Yeah.
shit. It
Nice.
looks fucking
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, and there's several rooms in there. That's the Egyptian room, and that's where my Blue Lodge meets is in that Egyptian room. So I was like, okay, if I join this lodge, I'll get my physical initiations in this Egyptian room, and they were like, yeah, and I was like,
Guess that's
how many times do I have to come down here a month? And they were like, twice a month, and I was like, okay, I'm down. You know what I mean? And now they got me for
It didn't come from Egypt, though.
You'll
Remember
never
that.
no.
You'll never know.
So
Well, yeah, we'll never know.
So I'm going to ask you a spicy one.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
I want to get back to benefits real quick. I think the real benefits.
Oh, hold on. I did want to say this. What is cool, and this is going back to a question that you asked me. What's cool is if you do, and everybody gets mad at me because they're like, man, stop talking about Scottish Rite all the time. Scottish Rite's cool. And what's cool about Scottish Rite is if you join Scottish Rite, we were talking about like how long does it take to become a 32nd degree? So you'll chuckle at this.
3 months.
Dude, less. What?
Holy shit.
Yeah. Okay, so check it out.
Like you showed up.
You're telling me I could join now and I would have that by the summer?
No, you got to go through the first 3 degrees first.
Yeah, okay.
Have you not listened to anything?
Okay,
he's
so
been saying?
look, in Texas, it's a year is considered quick to become a master mason. That's considered quick. I think I did
That's
it.
still not that bad.
I think I did it in 9 months.
Oh, damn.
But it's a 1 year minimum per degree. So 3 years tops is what it should take, right? So when I got to Scottish Rite, I was like, okay, what am I going to have to memorize? Like, what do I got to do now?
They're like, no, dude.
And they were like,
Nah,
you don't have to do
darts
anything.
at this board, dude.
And I was like, I don't have to do anything. And they were like, nope, check it out. And they opened up this humongous theater with hand-painted drops that came down. And they're like, sit in this audience and you're going to watch someone come up and get symbolically initiated into the 4th degree. And then you're going to watch the 5th degree. And you're going to watch the 6th degree and the 7th degree. And they'll do it like 3 days in a row. And it's the most awesome thing because I call it, I call it Master Mason's Day at the Opera, dude.
What?
Because all you do is you sit in an audience and you just chill out and you watch the whole thing happen in front of you on a stage with backdrops. Everyone's in full costume. It's awesome.
And it's just you.
And it's just you. And you know what they do? They have a little.
But dick would be hard the whole time.
Well, no, it's not just you. It's like a whole bunch of people. You know, it's however many people
Dick would still
attend.
be hard.
But like, so we do
Not
this
bashful.
twice a year. They do it twice a year. They make it line up with the equinoxes, and a lot of the bigger valleys try to do all of the degrees in a weekend. And what they do is you have this thing called a Masonic passport when you get in the Scottish Rite, and you watch the 4th degree, and they'll come over and they'll say, "Open up your passport," and they'll stamp it. And then they'll say, "Okay, you saw the 5th degree? There you go." And that's what I mean. So in 3 days, if you
tight.
catch it quick within 3 days, and if you watch all of them, you could become a 32nd degree Mason.
So it's like you're.
And it's long ass days though. It's 12-hour days.
Okay, 5 Adderalls.
I'm actually a educator right now. I'm on the education team for the Scottish Rite, Houston Valley, and I have to attend every reunion all 3 days.
Can you be Scottish and York?
Yeah.
What's the difference? I mean, Scottish to me, like just from my very limited knowledge, is like the gangster ass version of it.
Yeah, I think it is. Well, I'm not playing favorites, but I'm not in York Rite, so I can't really say. But from what I've been told, York Rite. So the first 3 degrees, I can say this because this is not secret. The first 3 degrees and the mythology of Masonry is basically based around King Solomon's temple. So it's old school Christianity mythology, right? And from what I understand, the York Rite continues that story, but the Scottish Rite kind of diverts off and shows you everything. It shows you Judaism, Islam. It gets deep into the Kabbalah. That's where it starts to become, in my opinion, super esoteric. That's the esoteric Masonry in the United States, in my opinion, is the Scottish Rite.
Our audience isn't very smart, man. That word could also mean secret.
and then the Shriners, and there's
I was going to ask you about the Shriners.
There's the Shriners, and there's another organization called the Grotto. I'm in a grotto. I go to a grotto in the Heights.
Do the Shriners steal little kids from the hospital?
So the Shriners and the Grotto are strictly what they call how do they say it?
In my hometown, we'd have parades, and the Shriners would have dope ass little go-kart things.
Yeah, they're
That's everyone's hometown.
It's everyone?
Everyone's hometown.
They're considered social clubs for Master Masons. So they're not very well. I don't know about the Shrine because I'm not a Shriner, but Grotto is very Grotto's fun because it's loose. So we call ourselves the Bastard Shriners, and we were black fezzes. Yeah, and we have our logo is this little dude. He kind of looks like me with white hair. He has a curly mustache and a little beard and a turban, and he has like big horns around his head.
So it's like Viking Yosemite Sam.
Kind of Egyptian. Yosemite. Well, not Yosemite Sam. He looks more like a little Alibaba type dude. You know what I mean?
Right,
it's very kind of Persian looking.
Persian Yosemite Sam.
Yeah. Yosemite. The grotto is like. The thing with the grotto, the initiation is serious. There's one little initiation you get, but the whole meeting, it's conducted like a Masonic meeting, but it's very much like, hey, let's all just like act like this is a joke and talk shit to each other.
Dude, it sounds like this podcast.
Like it's fun.
Right.
And it's meant to be like, hey y'all, Masonry and Scottish Rite and York Rite's very serious. This is our organization that we have just to get together and like talk shit and have fun.
Cut loose a little bit.
Yeah. Like
That one sounds the funnest.
yeah, it's a lot of fun.
far.
I think
Mostly
that
'cause of how you lit up.
they based. Remember the Flintstones Secret Society where they had the big blue hats with the
Yeah.
horns on it? I think that they actually based that off the grotto. I think that's what they were making that
You
out
might
to
be
be.
onto something.
So what level of Masonry do you have to be at to be invited to the Bohemian Grove?
I mean, that's a
good
whole nother
question.
thing.
I don't even know if that's a level as much as a bank account number.
We can get into that like
Touché.
crazy. They're not inviting Masons. They're inviting demitted Masons and inactive Masons.
It's more of a power.
I'd like to
thing
pull
than
an Alex Jones and go hide under a patio and film a bunch of shit there.
dude, yeah.
Well, you don't have to.
Shop
He already
trip.
did it.
Well, there's a lot of stuff, about that place. I mean, y'all, how crazy do y'all want to get into
Hey,
it?
no, wait. We'll save the real crazy shit.
Save the real
for the
crazy.
Patreon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We
I'm
don't
gonna
want to get this one turned off of YouTube.
I mean, let's start getting into conspiracy theory stuff.
I'm gonna
'cause,
ask you a spicy one real quick, and you don't have to answer.
No, I'll answer anything.
don't have to answer.
I'll try to answer anything
So
to the best of my ability.
So my memory is a little fuzzy, and I can't remember like the name. But I heard that basically the initiation ceremony is essentially a recreation of the journey of, I want to say like Peter, but it's not Peter.
In Masonry,
Yeah.
He can't answer that?
Yeah.
What do
no,
you
I mean
know?
I can. No, it's not. Yeah, it's not.
No.
It's not. No. I don't know I don't know how much of that question I can answer. It's Old Testament, but it's not
Peter's not the right name, but that's all that was coming to my mind.
It's all, like I said, it's all based off of basically
I know what it was.
the building of King Solomon's temple.
Akhenaten. No, that's not right either.
Well, it could have been. I mean, so in my opinion, there's a lot of There's a lot of parallels in the third degree with a bunch of the Egyptian teachings, and also those same teachings and symbols and imagery appear in the most of the second order degrees of the Rosicrucian orders. It's all the same. It's all like, it's all death and rebirth, and
Yeah.
it's
It's
in all
like when I
the
wake up every day and I'm still here.
it's in all the Western mystery schools.
So
The sun rises and the sun dies, and every day.
So is it true that a Mason is never to approach somebody else to become one?
Yeah, we're not supposed to. What's it called? Enlist or recruit. Yeah.
So I've always.
But if you show interest,
you can suggest.
Yeah,
hey, man.
There's a slight loophole because that's what I mean. If I'm talking to anybody about Masonry and they show interest in joining, I'm like, well, then you should come by the lodge and just have dinner with us. But that's not me saying you should become a Mason.
Are the dinners good?
Yeah, what's the dinner,
it depends
dude?
on where you go, but sometimes, oh my God, dude.
Sometimes they're so good or they're so
sometimes
not
it'll blow your mind.
No shit.
Yeah.
Really?
Like sometimes it'll blow your mind.
Like
they have
do
these
you know
Masons.
the good ones ahead of time?
good. I'm all shop trip.
Usually, yeah. I mean,
You can't
usually,
go. They don't let women in.
usually. Well, no. Wives and family are allowed to have dinner.
What?
Yep.
Okay, you're in.
Yep. Usually, most lodges in Texas, dinner's at 6 and the meeting's at 7. And if you want to invite your family for dinner, they can totally come and have dinner
6:30.
with
The chicks got
everybody.
to go though.
And they don't pay anything at all.
They're like wait in the parking lot at 7 o'clock.
Oh, at 7 o'clock they have to. Well, they could stay in the dining room, but they can't come in the lodge.
Oh man, that sounds so cool.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's cool.
Just like a reasonably behind.
It's cool. No, there's a lodge.
All right, peace. Hang on. Sit in the waiting room for a little while.
There's a lodge in the Heights where my grotto meets, but there's a Blue Lodge that meets there at Reagan Lodge. It's their lodge, and I went one time, and man, if the dude ever sees this, he'll kill me because I can't remember his name right now.
That's all right. He ain't watching.
Steve.
But man, he's the what they call the steward, and the steward is in charge of the dinner. And they have a old school, this building was built in like the 20s, so they have like an old school kitchen in there. And he's like an old dude. He's retired. He just chain smokes cigarettes out front and like teaches all the young dudes their memory work. He's pretty cool. But I visited their lodge one night, and I walked up to him and I said, "Hey, what are we having for dinner tonight?" He said, and this is like an old kind of redneckish. I don't mean any offense by that, but y'all know what I mean. We live in Texas. He's old, old country dude, And he said, "Oh, we're having a chicken piccata on top of a bed of couscous with some capers on top and a lemon meringue sauce," and just started going on with some grilled asparagus. And I was like,
That shit sounds delicious.
I was like, "Shut the fuck up, man." And he was like, "Fuck you." And I was like, "Fuck you, bitch." And I walked off, and then dinner served, and I look, and he's not kidding at all. I was like, "Oh my God." And I think that was the best dinner I've ever had at Masonic Lodge.
shit.
I was
That
like, "Oh
sounds
my
delicious.
God,
Yeah, you
dude."
pissed him off, and then he had to show ass.
He was
right?
like, "What's up?"
Yeah.
He was, and he told me too.
I ain't put my heart in it.
He
in 20
had a
years.
little
This
spoon.
time at
I
night.
told you I know what capers are.
He had a little spoon with capers on it, and he was like making eye contact.
Yes.
And he was like, "Do you want some more
Man,
capers?"
I hope
was
to
like,
one day
"Yes,
be.
please."
Yeah, I hope to one day be that old man.
Dude, that's
Straight
the
up.
cool. That's the well. I'll tell you the good and the bad thing about Masonry nowadays is, man, a lot of dudes, even our age, man, we don't hang out with older people, and we don't have older people as influences. You know what I mean? Because we don't.
No, keep going. What do you mean?
I do
You
all
know
the
what I
time.
mean? Well, you know what I mean. Like old motherfuckers. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
Like 80-year-olds?
Yeah, like 60s, 70s, 80s, you know what I
Yes,
mean? It's
dying.
we're not kicking it with people like that ever, you know what I mean? We don't have anybody like that that's influencing us. But it's if you go to lodge,
Well, see, you know
That's
why
there,
that you
huh?
know why that is though? Cuz y'all have
No, dude.
not normal jobs.
You're gonna say the wrong thing. It's not that.
If you have a normal job like
Well, yeah, I agree.
like I do.
No, I agree.
I hang out with old dudes all the time.
I agree. Yeah, there is more of that when you have like a regular ass
I was
job.
gonna say you're wrong, but yeah, that was right.
Yeah, I hang out with old dudes all the time.
I was gonna say it was more because Fox News exists 24/7 now, so they don't leave their house anymore.
Well,
They're
regardless,
just busy on the fucking TV.
what I
all day
would
and night.
my point was is in Masonry you hang out with a bunch of old ass dudes, and it's cool because you'll meet a bunch of older dudes and you'll get inspired by them, but it's also weird because you'll also see a whole bunch of people die.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean? Which is kind of good too.
part of life.
Yeah,
Death and rebirth.
yeah. I mean, the more you're around it, the more you're like,
Well, the longer you live, the more people you see die anyway.
yeah.
Oh, your friend groups, they all start getting cancer at some point, and then you're like, oh, fuck me.
Oh, man,
Maybe
seen-
I should donate to some of these
I've
fundraisers.
seen too many people die already. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah, the real benefits of being a member in any of those things is it's really that, though, right? It's just getting to spread your network.
It's
right?
more like networking
It's like
thing.
meeting.
No.
right?
Masonry is like that. Well, Masonry will teach you how to become a good man and all of that. That's why women aren't allowed in it because it's about being a man.
Fuck yeah.
I'm
joining tomorrow. So you don't have to be a man, dude.
Get outta here,
Yeah,
woman.
well, and like a woman would be like, even if a woman like went through it, they'd be like, I don't even want to do this because this is about being a dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
That's why a bunch of them don't want to be on this podcast. I mean, we
Because
keep
it's
it real.
basically about being a dude.
We keep it real. Everybody keeps saying it's a guy cast, but I
but
get
the
messages from
Golden
nothing but
Dawn,
women.
the Golden Dawn and groups like that are completely different. That's a completely different thing. Like the Golden Dawn and the Martinists and the Rosicrucians,
What the fuck are the Martinists now?
Martinists are kind of like
Steve Martin started it.
they're all doing the same thing. They're basically doing ceremonial magic for the same reason that like I was saying earlier that like a tantric Buddhist would be doing their practices because the final outcome for like a tantric Buddhist, for example, is to attain the rainbow body. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Where you see the paintings of like dudes in it's like a
Tool album
robes
cover.
with just rainbows shooting out of it, but there's not a body. It's like that's what that's supposed to be representing is that monk died and transcended reincarnation and created his rainbow body, and he can be an immortal interdimensional being at that point, or an angel, or whatever you want to call it.
So,
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
so to join the Martinism
Buddha.
or whatever, you go to like a Steve Martin concert.
Yeah,
Right?
you have
You
to
gotta
play
memorize
banjo.
the banjo.
Yeah, you got to
But
play
what about
banjo.
what happens when Steve Martin dies? I guess he's just reborn.
Everybody gets to
though.
watch him like blow a load into a rainbow.
He turns into a banjo, right?
But then how do you?
Right, yeah.
But then how do you get initiated
But
if you
every
can't
time
go to
somebody
his
strums it,
concert?
jokes come back out. Huh? No.
So if Masonry is so secret, why does everybody have like stickers and shit on their cars?
Well, that's the thing too. So you're not allowed to wear rings or have stickers or any of that stuff unless you're a master mason. So, and that's the thing too.
Or you have an eBay account.
Masons, yeah. Well, no, you're not.
Dude, I know so many motherfuckers wearing those rings, and there's no way they are.
Well, no. I will.
have you
I'll
been
tell-
on Amazon?
Well, no. Look, check this out. This is cool. If I meet somebody and I see them wearing a ring,
You're all like stolen valor, motherfucker.
no, I'll shoot them a secret handshake,
Is it?
and
The
they'll
camera's on. I want to fucking hit you with it, but
be like,
What? The secret handshake.
and if they do it back, I'll immediately be like, what lodge do you belong to?
If
Like
you're-
I'll start
put
testing
them
them.
on the spot.
Yeah. No, dude, we've had it happen. Like, so there's a local Houston Golden Dawn temple that I'm a part of, and then we had this kid show up, and he was like bragging, ego out the ass, talking about, oh, I'm a 32nd degree Scottish Rite Mason, and la 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 la. And I was like, so are a bunch of dudes here. We don't care. I didn't say that.
It takes 3 days, dude.
Yeah, I didn't say this to him. One, he's coming from another state too, so I was like, I don't, you know what I mean? I was like,
What state was it?
like a Midwest one where.
Oh, you can't trust them motherfuckers.
Well, I was like, I don't think that they're.
Where are you from?
Midwest.
Yeah.
You can't trust them.
Well, I was like, I
motherfuckers.
don't think that they have the same memory work as we do.
Yeah,
so,
no, you can't
know what
trust
I mean?
them.
Like,
Them sons of bitches.
yeah, honkies. Anyway, Yeah, this kid showed up, and he kept kind of running his mouth. So I told one of my other guys that was there, I was like, you need to test this guy. And he did. And that's what I mean. Like, there's no way to fake that. And you can get made to look like an idiot if you're wearing that stuff.
Some of this stuff is
Is it-
sounding a lot like street gangs.
Have y'all upped the ante yet though? To where like to fit it to modern times? Because it's like
What do you mean?
y'all should totally be putting a camera on these dudes when y'all do it and embarrass them publicly like
I'm
that.
down to do that. We could totally
That
do
shit
that.
would be
Yeah.
fucking hilarious.
We could
I would
totally
watch
do
those
that.
videos.
Yeah, you could totally
That's
do
some
that.
of my funnest things to watch is like the stolen out of the military shit.
That would be cool.
Where they find them at a mall fucking wearing a uniform and they fucking punk them out in front of a bunch of strangers. They all look like they're about to cry, dude. It's awesome.
Well, a lot of times it's like they
that,
can't.
That to me is such a weird fucking thing to do. Like, like I get it.
I get it like
I
right
get
after
it if you're
9/11.
like, no, not even that. I get it if you're like
You know what I mean? Right after 9/11, there was a bunch of dudes pretending to be firemen.
If you're a war reenactor, I get it then. Like
You got your Civil War costume on at the mall?
Like yeah, I got my
my dad's a Civil War reenactor.
costume on.
He was in Gettysburg, the movie.
Yeah, I got my reenactment
so
costume
good.
on. They're like, what branch, dude? I'm literally going to battle at like 4:30. Like, lay off me. Oh, okay.
Hey, I was in Dakota once, drunk in the middle of the day, walking out of a bar and
You
into
were in
another. Dakota.
North
South
Dakota?
South Dakota.
Oh, the warm
Yeah, I
one.
can't remember what town, like Keystone or something. But I was walking out of a bar drunk and into another bar, and gunshots started going off, and I was like, "What the fuck?" It was like, yeah, reenactment right there in the street. Caught me totally off guard. dude. I thought I was in the middle of a gunfight. I was like, "Oh shit!"
Like an old west gunfight.
and they go off like
reenactment.
every 15 minutes, dude. Like,
You're
clockwork,
like,
yeah,
South Dakota's buck wild, man.
yeah.
That would be like in the Bakken fields of North Dakota in like 2011. But it wouldn't have been reenactments.
Yeah.
It would have just
Whatever
been
you
real.
just said.
Yeah,
I don't know what a Bakken field is.
it's the
know
oil
what
field.
Bakken
It's the oil field
no.
in North
Oh, okay.
Dakota.
I don't. I
Why
just
did you
went.
just say that?
Because it's called the Bakken field.
No, it's called an oil field.
I just did my usual like.
yeah. Just agree.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yes.
That's nuts, man.
So I'm pretty sure you got me talked into it.
I mean, I think
I've
every.
been talked into it for a long
I will-
time. I was just
I
like,
will
I don't
totally
wanna
say
memorize
this. I will totally say this. Every man that I know should become a Mason. Straight up. Like straight up, I think that. I really do. Because it's a good.
the ones you don't like?
It's a good. What, the Masons I don't like?
Men you don't like.
They should become Masons.
Then you would like them.
I think that it would.
Would they
I think
become? Would they become at least more likable?
I think it would change their character. If they were sincere about making it to the third degree, I think it would definitely change their character.
Wild.
Yep.
Yeah, wild.
Yeah. I've seen dudes join. So it's like
So it is like the Marines.
it's like a
Motherfuckers come back different people, dude.
I mean they should.
I think
They
for
should.
different reasons.
They should. I'll tell you what, I've gone through a bunch of physical initiations in my life, and the best ones I've ever had was my Master Mason, probably my 0 = 0 in the Golden Dawn, and then my 5 = 6 in the Second Order of the Golden Dawn. But the Master Mason third degree is it to me.
Did you just say 5 = 6?
Yeah, it's the grades. That's a whole nother confusing thing.
He's gonna be confused about for an hour. They have these other programs now that completely change men in way under 3 years.
Are you
Trans
talking about?
out.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm not.
I was just gonna
I'm not a fan of
throw it
that.
out there for anyone that wanted the
Jesus
shortcut.
I'm not trying to cut my penis off.
He's
I'll say
talking
that.
about making men
Yeah.
better
That's what I'm talking about too.
by adding a vagina. Makes them better.
Oh no, I was talking about like that's how a woman could get in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh yeah.
I will say,
Ooh,
I will say, you have to. All right, look,
Oh,
look.
spicy.
We have safeguards.
Cup checks.
Yeah, well, look, a
Crocodile
lot
Dundee
of lot of terms y'all have heard come from Masonry. Giving them the third degree. That dude's on the level. The other one is blackballed. They blackballed me. So when you petition to become a Mason, you have to have. Let me think. I think it's two people have to sign your petition that go to that attend the lodge. So if you want to become a Mason in Texas, we'll tell you like hey, come to the lodge, start having dinner with us. Just show up on this day, start having dinner with us. They'll show up, you start meeting everybody, they'll give you a petition, and they'll say, once you start meeting people, just get them to sign your petition.
How much does dinner cost?
It's free.
Shit.
I know, right?
Shit.
I get a meal out of this deal?
It's free. Yeah. No,
It sounds so much like tattooing.
most lodges.
Twice a month, right?
Most lodges meet once a month.
Once a month?
Some lodges meet twice a month. Some lodges have a stated meeting once a month, but then every other week they'll have a study group night, and they'll still do dinners.
So it's kind of like the National Guard.
It depends on what lodge you're going to and what they do.
Yeah, I was thinking Coast Guard, yeah. Come on, we're still on the same level right now.
What?
They only go to work like 2 weekends a month, dude.
I lost my train of thought because that was hilarious.
That's all right.
It's like the Coast Guard.
Yeah, what were we talking about?
Yeah, what was I just saying?
Dinner. Foods.
No, before that.
Oh, okay. I was talking about. I remember what I was talking about. You come to dinner. You get people to sign. You have to have two. They're called top line signers in Texas. You have to have two. They have to attend the lodge. Then you have to have 3 more Masons sign it. Then you turn that petition in. Then that petition has to be voted on in a stated meeting. So they'll say, "Hey, we have this guy. Y'all have all met him. He's been coming to dinner. Do y'all vote that he should get the degrees?" Everybody usually says yes, and then they assign an investigation team. And they have 3 guys. And the rule now...
Wait. One of them is just on Google. One of them is looking you up on Google, right? Wait,
I'm
the second one's hanging out outside your work. Seeing what you're doing? Making sure you're working, calling the third one that's kicking your fucking door in and seeing if you have anything in your house, right?
I'm sure it could happen like that. The rule now, it's weird.
It's karate kick a scorpion, dude.
I'm sorry.
You just
My bad, I'm
you
sorry.
just
No, that's all right.
karate a
That's all right.
fucking scorpion.
All right.
Bro, is it still in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still
Okay.
there. He's just awake now. My bad.
God damn.
So anyway, yeah, investigation team. There's 3 dudes.
Yeah. They have to go to your house and they have to interview you at your house. Then they have
Weird.
God damn. First, I was like,
This is worse than getting a corporate job.
I
at
was
this point.
pumped up
crazy.
about dinner,
Yeah.
but
No,
now
it-
we got to
No,
interview.
it's hardcore. And then they go back to the lodge and then they say, okay, my interview was good. And then once
hold on,
that's
though.
put in,
What's this interview all about? Like,
that usually. So when I got mine, it was not done completely correctly because one guy interviewed me at the lodge. He was having a lot of family issues, so the only time we could do it was at the lodge. The other 2 guys came to my house, and they asked me the same thing. They were just like, "Why do you want to do this? What's your interest? How'd you find out about it? Blah blah blah." And it's short. It's like a 30-minute little interview. But then those guys go back to the lodge, and then once that's done, we do take a ballot where there's a little box that has white marbles and black marbles, and you vote. White is yes, black is no.
Blackballed.
Yeah.
Huh.
And back in the day, it used to only take 1 black ball for that guy not to be accepted to become a lodge member. Now it's 3. It takes 3 black balls.
Man, so Nick was thinking it was big laundry that was causing all the race stuff in America. It might be these black balls. He was saying it's big laundry, dude, because since you're a little kid, your mom's been yelling at you to separate the coloreds and the whites.
That's a thing.
Might be these black balls, dude.
That's a thing. Maybe we'll make a unity detergent.
Yeah. You can wash whatever you want together. It don't matter. Hey, what's the deal? How come they changed it from 1 black ball? Did they realize you got to have 2 balls?
nobody was getting in.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think it's because
Just one guy being an asshole all the time?
membership has been down in masonry since like the 70s, probably.
Well, I mean, the press isn't great. Kind of.
Nobody, yeah.
Well, that's part of the rules, though. You're not able to recruit, right? There's no marketing for this thing.
Yeah, and like, all the conspiracy theories
I see
now.
stickers
and
all the time.
they're like, oh, you guys run the world and you're Satan worshipers and blah, blah, blah. And it's
Wait. We'll get into that on the Patreon.
I mean, the answer to those are yes.
Also, yes, though.
Yes.
On the Patreon. We'll talk about it on the Patreon.
Yes. You are right, but yes.
But not really.
But no.
It's the same way like white dudes run the world.
I mean,
a very, very small minority of people around the world.
yeah.
Not all of this one thing.
No,
The same thing with Mason stuff.
I have zero stroke in the world.
You think that? Depends on the world, dude. Just shrink it. Shh. Like right now, the world is just a shop.
Ooh.
We run the whole fucking thing, dude.
Whole
That's right.
The whole fucking thing.
Yeah, you just build walls around yourself. The rest of the world doesn't exist.
Damn.
Yeah. Flat Earth, you in or no?
No.
No? Why not?
He knows.
I don't believe in flat Earth
Or round Earth.
or hollow Earth. I believe in cavernous Earth.
Ooh.
Cavernous Earth.
Shit.
You don't think that leads to the hollow Earth?
I mean, it's
Because I like that one with flat Earth.
well, it's the same thing. Well, I mean,
Ooh.
not flat Earth, but I don't think that you've seen the diagrams where it's like, oh, here's the Earth's crust, and then there's just a big, humongous, hollowed out thing. I'm like, that's not how it is. There's caves, and eventually, yeah.
Well, yeah, because you have to be able to get to it.
yeah. Well, and
So
y'all
it's
have heard
hollow.
about the.
So you're saying it's hollow?
Y'all have heard about all the cave systems where it's like, do y'all know about the Sphinx in Romania?
I'm
This-
saying,
This no, you don't. Where the fuck is Romania?
I heard
That's why.
Sphinx.
That's
I
why.
heard Romania.
That's
fuck
why-
is Romania?
Yeah.
You don't know?
Dude, it's where the Romans are, dude.
Yeah, that's why I stopped. I was like, you do? All right, tight, man. All right, sweet. You've been talking to Greg Haynes.
No, you're not.
No, there's a Sphinx in Romania.
There's pyramids on every single continent.
And yeah, you should like Google image that thing right now and look at it because it's crazy.
Dude.
Because you know how like the Sphinx back in like who was it? Caesar that shot off the or no, it was Napoleon
Sphinx
that shot off
Romania.
the nose of the Sphinx, right? And back then the Sphinx was like sand up to the neck, I think. So yeah, if you could imagine that the Sphinx had never been excavated, that's probably what it would look like now.
A big skull rock with goats on it.
And they said that and you can see the back and the hands.
Damn, it looks like it's got a dope ass mohawk.
And they say, and who knows if this is true, they say that there's a cave underneath that, and the cave underneath that has caves that lead to like Egypt and wherever else. And they say that there's a cave underneath the Sphinx in Egypt that has the same thing, and who knows?
Well, but hold on. They say like we don't have the technology to build the things that are built in Egypt, but we're building shit just like that, like right now, like Crazy Horse in the Black Hills, South Dakota.
I don't
We
know
got
about
Mount
that.
Rushmore.
What's that? Well, yeah, Mount Rushmore is pretty wild.
Crazy Horse is right by it, but it's like a crazy Indian sculpture. Like
Mount Rushmore's
giant.
not that wild.
They're just saying that they didn't have the technology back then to be able to do it, so that's what they're.
They had chisels and shit.
That's the thing. They're thinking more chisels. Like they actually.
Look at,
The basic.
have y'all been to Rushmore?
Yeah.
I haven't.
I was highly not impressed.
I mean, no, it's not like.
I always thought it was
But-
a mountain.
but
It's
you-
the very tip of the mountain has a little tiny.
But you
thing
can't.
carved
In,
out.
in fairness, you can't really get close enough to see how.
I've been to
big it
Angkor
is.
Wat in Cambodia.
Because where you're
And that was
seeing
buck
it.
wild.
That's wild.
I think that probably ruined my Egyptian experience when I eventually go to Egypt. I'm gonna
What
be
was
like,
it? Where was it?
I went to Angkor Wat in Cambodia,
I don't
and
know what that is.
you should look at it. It's the pyramid.
He
Don't even know how to- don't even know how to spell it.
He nods his fucking head to everything like he knows exactly what you're talking about.
Every time.
No, he's got
It's
no
it's one of
fucking
the
idea. That's wild.
It's one of the ancient wonders of the world. It's not a pyramid, but it's not a pyramid, but it's a pyramid, and it's in Cambodia, and they have they're like, oh, it's 3,000, 4,000. They have no idea how old it is, and it's insane, dude. Like it's insane. I went there because two of my friends got married by monks in the Angkor Wat complex in Cambodia. It was the most badass experience of my whole life going out there, honestly.
Do you know how to spell it?
Angkor Wat? Yeah.
Yeah, how do you
It's
spell
ANKORWATT, I think.
Okay.
And
trying to
the
test him?
beer there is called Angkor beer. And the beer in Laos is called Beer Lao.
Huh.
It's awesome. Yeah, we went to
Like a Cambodian accent.
Beer Lao.
they
Lao.
keep it simple.
I can still speak a little. I don't remember if it was Cambodian or Laotian. They say sabadi. Sabadi. And I think that meant like, how you doing? Like, what's up? It was awesome out there, man. We went to
How did the dudes in Israel talk?
I don't think I can do an Israel accent. What the hell did I watch the other night that they had the Israeli guys that were like saving the day, and they had this weird accent, and I was like, is that what Israelis sound like? Like, I have no idea.
What about one that lives here?
Huh? What about the ones that live here? I'm not gonna do that. We're in rough times right now. Yeah, I'll do it off camera, and you'll laugh your ass off.
We'll save it for the Patreon. We are? All right.
What happened?
You talking about Cambodia?
Oh, we did.
No, we're good.
Oh, we did. No, Cambodia was insane, dude. We went out there. My friends got married by monks. We went to Angkor Wat. Angkor Wat's insane. It basically has like the history of creation carved around it. And the walls are probably like as big as that wall right there. And they're just carved from floor to ceiling. And they're like, oh, this is all hand carved. And it's like, no, dude. Nope. This was done with a laser. Like, there's no way they did this. Like, it's correct.
So it was like made in the 80s or some shit?
No, I mean, they don't know. They have no idea how old it is.
So I have like a
It's the temple that you see that, like, I think Tomb Raider was filmed there, where it has like the trees where the roots are like growing into the temple and they're on top of the temple. It's like ancient as hell.
oh
dude.
yeah, hell yeah.
What the fuck?
It's the one with the big Buddha heads. Like,
I don't either.
I'll send you pictures. And the pictures don't do justice at all, dude. Like,
So I have
there's a fucking Stegosaurus on the wall, dude.
That's wild.
but dinosaurs aren't real.
There's a Stegosaurus on the wall.
But they're
That I got pissed because I knew about it and I went there and I couldn't find it. And I was like, "Hey man, where's?" I was asking all the. So it's still a working temple. There's still like monks all in there. It's kind of awesome. Like if you see one, they'll have like a big bowl of water and a bowl of sand with incense sticks sticking all out of it, and then a little basket full of friendship bracelets. And you walk over there and you give them $1. This sounds fucked up, but it's actually like super awesome. If you walk over there and you give them $1, you kneel on the ground and like put your hands up in prayer, and they'll pull an incense stick out and they'll sling water all over you, and then they'll start like consecrating you with the incense stick while they're chanting over you. And it's badass. And then you give them
not all
$1 and they'll
monks-
tie a little friendship bracelet on you.
so
I had like
12 of
friendship bracelets all over the place,
spent like
dude.
$1,400.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's an awesome place. It changed my life.
Is that where
going
Johnny
there.
Depp got all his bracelets?
So go to Cambodia.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. Go to Cambodia, but be wary. So I'll tell a good Cambodian story. They have these things. I don't want to say things. They're human beings. They have these people. They have these children.
What the fuck?
They have these children in Cambodia. They call them milk babies. This was kind of a bad experience.
It's not starting out great.
So my
It's a
friend,
bad experience.
my,
He goes,
my, my
"I'm gonna tell a
friend,
good
my
Cambodian
friend
story."
my friend told us about this that had been there before, and I guess I should tell the story where you find out what they actually are in a minute. So anyway, long story short, we get to we're eating in an outdoor restaurant.
Should we save this one?
Can we? Let's just
We
cut
should save it,
Let's
right?
just cut it
For Patreon.
right.
Yeah,
as-
we're gonna save
no,
it for the Patreon.
say it.
Hey,
and-
thanks
and
for watching.
Cut it right as the story gets good.
It's already, we already fucked it up.
It's about to get real good. A little girl walks up to our table and starts to say,
We'll see y'all next week. Hey, tune in to the Patreon if you want to hear the end of this story.